Yesterday, in terms of the seedings, the French taking out to the New Zealanders the number one seeds. Of course, France, since the 25th of June, have been number two seeds on the IRB list. South Africa at 3, Australia at 4, and Fiji down in 12th position on the International Rugby Board seedings list. So there is that magnificent view you get here of the city as the teams line up for the national anthems, and thereafter the Thimbi, which will be the battle cry of the Fijians. God bless Fiji. There's Big Ili Tambua, one of the great stars of the Wallaby side. So confirmation of the side, J.P. Peterson, of course, on the right wing, did not play against the USA, but his try-scoring record has improved and improved over this World Cup. And now so the Fijians, led by their captain Mosesi Rauluni, to do the Thimbi. So the crowd so appreciative of the little war cries that the South Sea Islanders have done through the duration of this tournament. And so a big pack of forwards, maybe not as well versed in terms of cohesion because they don't play together all that often, but still they will be formidable. Wins over Japan, Canada and Wales, the loss to Australia. Alan Lewis has refereed South Africa in 5 tests before, lost 2, won 2 and drawn 1, which that 30-all draw against France in Durban back in 2005. He was also the referee in the last test that South Africa played at Twickenham, where Andre Pretorius kicked 4 drops and South Africa won the game at Twickenham. And so Bush James will kick off slightly into the wind. There are open stands on all 4 corners of the field, so the wind does have a little bit of effect. Rauluni quickly smothered by Madfield. Into the number scrum half position goes number 10 by, his name's Bai Kanuko, but everybody calls him just Bai. And he's still in that position, is Bai. Now the big number 8, Sisa, goes in. He's Koya Magboli. Rauluni charged down by Smith, better gone too quickly. Madfield couldn't hold on. But the first knock on by Fiji, so this is going to be an important area, Garth.
I think it's absolutely vital for South Africa to hit in hard. Nice pressure there from John Smith as well. That's the sort of pressure you want to place on the Fijian scrum off and fly off. Key to South Africa today is here.
Of course, Yanni du Plessis in that tight head position. Well, now they get a second shove on Fiji, but good mauling by South Africa. This is probably going to be the tactic as they take on the Fijian forwards. Still the maul goes on. Juan Smith, a slight breakaway up to the 6 meters away. Dupree just having a look for the ball in from the side. Come the Fijians, quickly taken by Dupree, but not from the correct position and not nearly 10 meters back. There are the Fijians. And so immediately Professor Derek Kusia runs onto the field with the kicking tee for Percy to try and kick his 338th point.
Fisa coming in there slightly from the side. And Guerra's number 7 falling over there. Fisa coming in from the side, clear to see from that clip.
So quickly placed by Percy. His record already of this season, 183 points, which is a new record for him. And strikes the upright. So not adding to his total of 835 points. Look at that. These aren't very long posts, but just striking the wind. We saw Johnny Wilkinson yesterday having a few problems with the wind. We were sitting, John van Rensburg and I, right behind 2 of Johnny Wilkinson's kicks, both of which veered off in the wind. James, Rousseau doubling around. Montgomery up in the line, decides to go on the grubber. Well fielded there by Lingariri. Look at this young Francois Steyn. He's so full of adventure, and it's well taken there by the Rampeni. Now chance here out wide for the Fijians. Madfield holds on to Cisa well. This is what the Fijians like, is to open it up. They produce so many wonderful sevens players in their lives. And Gian Drava, the tight head prop, took it in by great tackle by Smith. Rauluni. And another good tackle there by Berger. The flank's doing well. Penalty, Fiji. And that's what Fiji like, is when it becomes more open. Wales played into their hands and lost that way.
Good play from Fiji, not great play from South Africa. That is a ruck, as you can clearly see. Hands in from South Africa, penalty.
So the kick taken there by Lingairi, the fullback, who plays his rugby for Brive in France. What a day for Yanni du Plessis. A week ago, he didn't even realize he was going to be in this World Cup, and here he is with his brother in support. It's a good take. Rauluni very flat to buy, and then Rambeni, that's what we thought would happen. It's a wonderful tackle by Dani Rousseau and Skalkberg in midfield. Turn around for South Africa. Get it wide to Jacques Ferry. Habana, has he got something on here? Habana is taken quite high, but robustly. Duprier, James. Back will go the left wing, Mbombo. And now Lingairi. Well, he was outside his 22, so Bush James has to field. Montgomery. Oh, he's torpedoed that well. Beautiful kick by Percy. Just caught the sweet spot on the ball and torpedoed it away.
A little bit loose, I think, for 5 minutes into the game, and that's the sort of stuff you're going to get. If you play loose, it's high. It's a penalty, there's no doubt. I can't understand how the touchdown did not see that. Key to South Africa, early on in this 5 minutes, is to kick the ball out. You don't want to kick it downfield, kick it out.
Well, Steve Walsh and Paul Honus, two New Zealanders on the touch. Rauluni. And again, that easy clearance there for Lingairi. Dani Rousseau returning after that big hit he got against Tonga to the number 8 position. So it's Johan Smith, little high for him, little tap there to buy. Now Rambeni, Retuvo. Rambeni. It was a wonderful tackle on him on midfield. You can imagine they will crash it down that way by. Nice little jab work here for Peterson. Well recovered there, down to Monty. Sees a bit of an opening. Rauluni makes the tackle. So the referee indicating there, international rules, that the little signal there with the right arm indicates the tackler not moving away.
Two things, tackler not moving away and playing the ball. Look at Rauluni, he's on the ground, ball, he's holding the ball and he flicks it back with his hand. So he plays the ball on the ground and he doesn't roll away. Pick which one you want.
So this young man was practicing earlier and kicked one over from his own 10-meter line in practice earlier on. He was kicking, in fact, in the other direction, so the wind is slightly different. Blowing their flags, there are 5 flags up on top of the grandstand opposite us that are blowing sort of away from us, so he will have to have just given it. Look at that, look at that, look at that! So just proving his worth is young Francois Steyn, and doesn't he do it with every test he accumulates, now in his 14th at the age of 20. By Matfield, quick help from Burger, quick formation of the Springbok forwards you see there. Because they boast 596 caps, the Springboks played so often together as they take on this Fijian pack. Now Burger finds Duprier. Steyn. Ooh, and James has to move quickly here. It's a 4-by. Now chance here for Kota, the hooker. And back goes Montgomery. He couldn't hold on. Matfield. Peterson. Dupree in there. South Africa have to recover quickly. Montgomery, you see the experience of Montgomery. And young Francois Steyn, I think Garth, you know, even despite the fact he's playing his 14th test, the pace is always just gets quicker and quicker and quicker.
See, he took 2 paces to kick that ball, He needs to kick it off the base, and immediately they take that turnover and they run it straight back at you, and that's when Fiji are at their most dangerous. And again, just look at the pressure here, and that is Mbombo, and he's of course gone and knocked over Percy Montgomery. It is foul play.
Presies soos hulle moet.
Sonder twyfel. 1, 2, 3, 4 keer die voorspelers gebruik. Trek al die losvoorspelers en die losmanne van Fiji in. En dan speel vir die Dupree om aan die blinde kant. Deur die hande gaan hy. Geen keer dan voor hy in die hoekie.
So Suid-Afrika dan voor met 8 punte teenoor 0. En hierdie keer is dit Percy Montgomery met die doelskop. Percy Montgomery uiters waardevol vir enige span. Van die kantlyn af. Gaan naby wees. Nee, hy's nie oor nie. Maar Suid-Afrika op koers. Kom ons kyk weer na hierdie 3.
Fourie de Pre het geweet, Jacques Fourie is op sy eie aan die buitekant. En die lang aangee tydsberekening skitterend.
En die afskop van Baai. Hier is Victor Matfield, Skalkburger. Tweede fase afgedwing vir die de Pre. Butch James sal skop. En hier die skop van Butch James. Goed bemeester teen Norman Likahiri. En is hierdie bal regstreeks uit? Nee. Gekry deur James. Percy Montgomery. Percy Montgomery wat weer die kantlyn opsoek en kry. Moet sê Kobus die balbeheer van Suid-Afrika vanaf die inskoppe baie goed. En daar's 5 spelers van Fiji in hierdie lyn staan. Goeie lynstaan werk deur Liaveri. Baie het hom in die hande op die flank. Ngera. Rauluni. En nou word al deur kom deur Likahiri. Koto die haker, is hy vorentoe aangee. Of onopsetlike obstruksie liewer.
Gewoonlik is hulle baie goeie hanteerders van die bal, goeie vaardighede. So hulle sulke meesters van die sewes is. Maar die vorentoe aangee daai keer tel teen hulle.
Janie Du Plessis nie diskant, hy skram teen Graham Dews. Dews wat sy rugby speel daar in Nieu-Seeland, sy klub rugby. Stewig geskram deur die bokke.
Goeie regte skouer.
Ja, beslis ook Kobus. Hier is Fourie de Pre. Daar vasgetrap. Die Sisa. Opgetel deur Bakkies Botha. Hier is Skalkburger. Nou is dit Johan Smith. Fourie de Pre, een van die taktiese skoppe van hom. Miskien 'n rapsie te ver, hou dop. Likahiri wat uitstekend doen hier agter.
Baie goed gevat. Die Likahiri onder groot druk van JB Peterson en Dani Rousseau, maar hy doen baie goed hier agter.
En hy gaan die bal uitskop. Mees ervare speler in die span van Fiji. Hy speel vir Briefie in Frankryk. En John Smith met 'n gooi vir die bokke. Weer bedoel vir Johan Smith, Fourie de Pre op die voordeellyn François Steyn. Fourie de Pre wag vir die bal om uit te kom, hy het hom. Baie Suid-Afrikaners oor in die oorkant, die kan dalk 'n ding kom. Johan Smith kom nou pragtig weg, Johan Smith. En hy soek ondersteuning. En dit kan wees dat Fiji die bal daar afneem by Suid-Afrika. Ja, dit gebeur opgetel deur Sisa. Baie goed gedoen deur Fiji daar in die proses om daai bal weg te neem van die bokke. Rambeni. Hy gaan hierdie bal nie uitskop nie, Percy Montgomery. Hy dink daaraan om die bal in die lug in te sit, presies wat gedoen word deur Percy Montgomery. Goeie hangskop, goed bemeester aan die oorkant deur De La Salle.
Steyn wat daai kort aangee kry, hardloop hom vas tussen die twee senters, Ratuvoa en Rambeni. So 'n bietjie besluitloos die Fijiane wat hulle wil doen.
Norman Likahiri. Dit is 'n strafskop. Dit is 'n goeie skop, goeie verligtingskop deur die heel agter van Fiji. Daar's net 'n probleem met die veter vir Osdorand. Suid-Afrika wat goed kompeteer, deurgekom deur die kaptein Rauluni en verder geneem deur Liaviri. Rauluni by Rambeni. Rambeni se aanganderskep deur JP Petersen. Skalkburger soos altyd baie vinnig by die afbreekpunt. Is niemand hier agter vir Fiji nie.
Baie goed teruggewen daar deur die Fijiane. Rauluni wat skitterende werk doen. JP Petersen lees hierdie baie goed. Kry die bal, maar ongelukkig kan hy nie aangee wegkry na ondersteunende spelers toe nie. Hy is 'n woelige skramskakel, die kaptein Rauluni.
Groot verrassing gisterand in Cardiff. Weer lang slotte hierdie van Fiji. So Nieu-Seeland dan uit die Wêreldbeker toernooi. Australië ook, Engeland is deur. Engeland speel teen die Franse aanstaande Saterdag in Suid-Afrika, heel moontlik. Kom ons hoop. Hulle gaan deur, dan speel hulle teen die wenner van die wedstryd later vanaand, Argentinië teen Skotland. Ja, is 'n goeie skram opgetel hierso deur Sisa. Rauluni werk om deur na Baai. En nou is dit verder geneem hierso deur Fiji se haker. Koto, bal wat lospad. Suid-Afrika in die hande, Butch James na François Steyn. François Steyn, die bal wat verlore gaan, dis voordeel vir Fiji. Rauluni het hom weer, Rambeni is nou op loskakel. En hy kom nou weg en een van die bokke wat hom mis daar, met 'n duikslag, dis Osdorand. Weggebreek deur Rauluni, kry ondersteuning van die vinnige Dalasau. Weer beskikbaar vir Fiji, buite Suid-Afrika se 22 by. Baie lang aangee na Rambeni. Nou is dit Sisa. Sisa en Johan Smith. Rambeni die senter wat weer opgetel het. En daar's 'n hele paar Fijiane oor aan die oorkant. Suid-Afrika wat daar weer 'n duikslag mis. Ngera wat die bal dra vir Fiji. Strafskop aan Suid-Afrika.
Goeie stukkie spel van Fiji, maar die verdediger van die bokke wat hou. Een paar keer bal was het afgestaan Suid-Afrika deur wille aangee. En dis die tipe spel wat die Fijiane kan speel en wil speel teen Suid-Afrika. Matfield en Johan Smith wat af Sisa grond te bring.
Suid-Afrika het dusver nog net een lynstaan verloor. Baie goed gedryf vanaf die lynstande deur die bokke. En veral Johan Smith wat 'n groot faktor geraak het in hierdie Wêreldbeker. Weer Suid-Afrika met daai dryfmaal beweging. Vir die Pre, Butch James, bietjie afwisseling. Lika hierdie. Brana Bana ook baie goed met die hoë bal om te vang. Fiji die voordeel. Rauluni wat die bal dra. Tot buitekant die 22 van Fiji. Fiji wat die bokke voorspelers probeer terugdryf in die proses. Iemand het moeilikheid. Wie is dit? Kom ons hoor wat sê die skeieregter, een van die Fijiane wat bly lê. Johan Smith het miskien moeilikheid.
Kry net so 'n waarskuwing van Ellen Loos. So 'n leiarm wat hy uitsteek.
Ja,
Rawaka toe.
Ja, is 'n mooi beskrywing, so lui arm. Al erger gesien.
Maar hy se woelige skrapskakel John, die kaptein. Rauluni
Interessant, hy speel vir Saracens.
en 'n hele paar van sy spanmaat speel ook daar in Engeland rugby.
Ja, die center Ratuvo, wat ook speel vir Saracens. Lekker musiek wat hulle speel in hierdie stadion, né?
Ja, hulle is lekker feestelike atmosfeer by al die velde. Skare wat lekker deelneem, hande klap. 23 minute, 8-0 Suid-Afrika, 1-3 in die wedstryd.
En daardie 3 gedrukte Jacques Fourie. Daardie bal nie baie ver uitgeskop deur Norman Likahiri nie. Oor die algemeen die lynstaande van Fiji nie sleg nie. Reeds 'n paar goeie balle gewen deur Rabanga, die slot, die nommer 5 slot vir Fiji. Dis weer hy wat opgaan, maar dis skeef.
Baie duidelik skeef gegooi. Abana wat oorbeweeg het in die agterlyn.
Weggebreek dit dan hier is Sou, Angie wat verlore gaan.
Nie goeie spel deur Suid-Afrika nie, swak onder 'n kommunikasie.
Goeie skram deur Suid-Afrika, weggebarte Sisa. Hou daar 'n paar springbokke besig. Rauluni, woelige haker Kotto. Verder geneem deur Quidravo. Nou sit Baai. Baai se aangee, lange deur Nangera. En is 'n bombo. Deur Jacques Fourie met goeie verdediging. Naivo vir Fiji. Rauluni, Baai. Gooi die bal wild weg. Hulle het hom tog onder beheer. De La Salle. Rauluni wag vir die bal om uit te kom. Nommer 9. Skrimskakeling kaptein van Fiji, maar weer Kotto. Rauluni. Harde duikslag daar deur Jannie Du Plessis. En ingesny deur die sterk senter Rambeni. Goeie verdediging daar in Resou. De La Salle is nou in die diskant. Dis François Steyn wat hom grond toe neem. Nog nie eintlik veld gewen deur Fiji in die proses nie. Goeie besluit. Goeie besluitneming deur die kaptein Mosesi. Raulini.
Hy was die spel goed af. 'n hele paar keer probeer hulle deurkom met kort aangee en insny. Hulle kom nie so ver nie. En dan die skoppie oor die loskram deur die kaptein Rauluni en hulle is binne die 22 van Suid-Afrika.
So dis vir 'n goeie wedstryd vir Kotto die haker en ook die agsman Siza wat die hoog vang. Ja, die man afgepluk in die lyn staan. Strafskop teen Bakkies Botha.
Baie wat gaan aanlê paal toe vir Fiji. Ja, kan nie twyfel wees daaroor daai beslissing nie.
Hierdie dan die eerste geleentheid vir Fiji om punte aan te teken. Jeremiah Baai. Baie druk op sy skouers. Luister weer na die skare hier in Marseille. Suid-Afrika voor met 8 punte teenoor 0. Wat 8-3 word. As baie die bal tussen die pale deurstuur. Terug by die aksie. Dis 'n aanslaan. Dink Suid-Afrika die bal al eerste aangeslaan. Stadig opgestaan hier deur die groot slot Rabenga. Man wat sy klub rugby speel in Japan. Trouwens hy bly op die grond. Johan Smith.
Hulle 'n paar goeie balle gewen in lynstaat vanmiddag vir Fiji. Rawaka. Lyk of hy polsbesering het.
30 toetse vir Fiji gespeel, reeds 2-3 aangeteken.
Klink en of my Ellen Loos so half vir Fiji ondersteun as hy vir die kaptein sê, julle is nog heeltemal binne in die wedstryd hoor. Had hy seer gekry, die slot. Rawaka. So 'n bietjie aandag kry en dan sal hy reg wees om voort te gaan.
Besering daar in die hand opgedoen. So Suid-Afrika se plaasvervanger bank dan vandag is Gary Botha, Gatro Steenkamp, Johan Miller, Wikus van Heerden, Roan Pinaar en Wynand Olivier.
Ja, Mouner van Heerden, wat sy cap daar gelig.
Ja, daar is hy in die middel, Mouner. Speel vandag sy 13e toets, JP Pietersen. Goeie skram en goeie druk deur Suid-Afrika. Suid-Afrika wat hulle bes probeer om daai besit weg te neem vanaf Fiji. En die agterman Siza. Hard gewerk deur Skalk Burger. Manne wil aan mekaar vat. Weer 'n goeie skram deur die bokke. Opgetel die Mbombo. Rambeni. Weer Suid-Afrika wat agteraf word. Hande in die loskram.
Dan die Silverag gestraf word. Uiteindelik Ellen Loos sê rol weg. Los die bal. En dan die strafskot volg.
Kobus, 30 minute verstrek in die eerste helfte. Jou indruk van hierdie toets?
Ja, soos verwag het, dit gaan hard wees voor. By die stadium Suid-Afrika wat in 'n mate reg speel, ook 'n goeie 3 gedruk, maar nog alles om voor te speel. Fiji is verseker nog in hierdie wedstryd.
Fiji wat redelik baie besit kry op die oomblik. Suid-Afrika wat lanklaas die bal in die hand gehad het. By staan daar vir François Star of Butch James af. Nou Suid-Afrika besit, dis Victor Matfield. Gee dit vir Dani Rousseau. Skoppie van Dani Rousseau. En ek dink daai bal is geraak die een van die Fijiane.
Ja, baie beslis die rolskoppie Dani Rousseau op een van die Fijiane se voet voor hy oor die kant heen gerol het. Dink dit was Delasau. Die regtervleuel.
En weer geleentheid vir Suid-Afrika. Johan Smith het hom. Hier kom hulle vir Pre. En een van die Fijiane wat hier in die stof byt. Vir Pre, Butch James. Skoppie van Jacques Forêt. Is 'n rapsietart.
Skien jy daai bal deur die hande laat gaan het. Daar was 2 manne aan die buitekant vir Suid-Afrika. Rolskoppie wat so net voor die neus van Peterson oor die kantlyn op die doodlyn rol althans.
Fiji dan in die kwartfinale dankzij daai oorwinning oor Wallis van 38 punte teenoor 34. Dit was ook 'n groot verrassing. Victor Matfield. Suid-Afrika behoort hierdie bal te wen. Fourie de Pre het hom 'n lang aggie deur na François Steyn. En dan gee die besit weg aan Fiji, opgetelde Dius. En hier kom Fiji weer met 'n teenaanval. Rauluni, dis by. Likairi. Dis voordeel vir Suid-Afrika.
Verstaan nie die idee, John, met die rolskoppies wat die Bokke probeer en tikskoppies voordoen, al 'n paar maal vasgeskop teen die opponente of net besit weggeskop.
Maar nou baie interessant dat Jacques Fourie op loskakel wou inbeweeg. Daniel Rousseau hardloop hier af op baai. Fourie de Pre. Hier sit Bakkies Botha. En dan trek Bakkies Botha. Dis 'n mooi loopie. Lyk goed vir Suid-Afrika. Hy word wyd gegooi in die diskant vir Percy Montgomery na Brana Penna. Teruggeduik deur Likairi. Fourie de Pre het hom. Johan Smith, hy sterk op sy bene. Sisa Lakom. Hier kan dalk 'n ding kom. As Suid-Afrika hierdie bal kan wyd speel, kan daar 'n ding kom. Victor Matfield wat afgaan grond toe. Fourie de Pre het hom nou die geleentheid om hom wyd te gooi. Petersen na Skalk Burger en Burger wat die bal verloor. Dis briljante verdediging daar op die bal deur die Fijiane.
Skitterende verdediging.
Daniel Rousseau het seer gekry in die proses.
Hier was iets aan. En Skalkburger, uitstekende verdediging, alhoewel om die nek deur De La Salle.
Ja, dis hoog.
En dan 'n laatvat ook om die nek. En daai ou moet uitgewys word, geen twyfel van Fiji.
Wel is eenvoudig nie aan nie.
Die wedstrydkommissarisse was al baie kontroversieel op hierdie wêreldbeker. Nie konstant met hoe hulle uitwys nie.
Wel, dis soos hy seer gekry het in daai vorige wedstryd teen Tonga. Maar wat 'n loopie van Bakkies
Goeie werk
Botha.
Bakkies Botha. Stamp 2-3 manne af. Die bus is vol. Nog steeds vol. Soek ondersteuning. Goeie werk deur die slot. Kry goeie momente vir die Bokke.
Maar in elk geval aggressiewe en goeie verdediging daar op Skalk Burger.
Nie net sonder die bal nie, ook styf arm om die keel Daniel Rousseau.
Kobus wat Suid-Afrika nou hier soek is 'n goeie skram. Sit Fiji onder druk vir al die skakelpaar.
Ja, 3 nou. Voor rustyd kan die Fijiane se gees baie beslis breek. Die Bokke kan hulle bære.
Dit gaan 'n interessante skram wees.
Goeie druk teen Suid-Afrika.
Opgetel is Siza. Rauluni. Dis hy wat die druk verlig.
Nou lyn staan vir Suid-Afrika. Goeie posisie.
Min kanse vir Brana Penna vandag. Kobus is nou of nooit. Wayne Julius, Akona Ngani ook daar. Bakkies Botha, die fundament is daar. Maar Fiji wat huiswerk gedoen het. Maar kan Suid-Afrika weer momentum kry? Lyk so.
Goed gedoen, hulle die bal geskuif.
Lyk goed vir die Bokke, 5 meter van die doellyn. Daai losgemaal is afgepluk, sonder twyfel. Frie Pre aangee deur na François Steyn. En François Steyn wat die voorspelers aanvat. Ja, ek wou sê, daai losgemaal is afgepluk.
Wat doen John Smith nou? Gaan hy vir 3 punte of gaan hy vir die lyn staan gaan? Hulle het baie goed doen die Bokke, die was na by die kant uit, toe skuif hulle die bal na die binneveld toe. En ek kan seker wees, John, hulle gaan dieselfde probeer. Hierdie keer moontlik op Matfield of op John Smith.
Kom ons kyk wat gebeur. Dis bedoel vir Matfield. Dit lyk uitstekend, Kobus. Dit lyk veel beter.
Nog steeds die Bokke. Ja,
En
dat is
dit
waar.
drie.
John Smith.
John Smith wat omdruk. Waardevolle punte.
Tegnies baie goed, hulle tyd afgewag. En John Smith van agteraf reg hier die middel, bal onder beheer. En hy druk op die witlyn.
13-3.
Hulle tyd baie goed afgewag en John Smith van agteraf kom hy deur met die help van Dani Rousseau en Matfield. En die Bokke druk hulle tweede 3. Janie du Plessis baie goed, hy was voor John Smith, vat 2 Fijiane uit die pad uit en maak dit makliker vir sy kaptein.
Dis nie 'n maklike skop vir Percy Montgomery nie. Nee. Wat jy sê is bedrieglik. Die wind in hierdie stadion, hy's baie oop daar aan die oorkant. Ook gister gesien dat Mortlock sukkel om sy skoppe. Maar hierdie 3 van John Smith.
Werk heel middag al goed vir die Bokke, die dryfbewegings van die lynstaan af. Die Fijiane se verdediger wat eenvoudig opgekloof word reg deur die middel. Kaptein Raulini wat sy kop skud.
2-3 vir Suid-Afrika, Jacques Fourie en John Smith, die kaptein, wat die 3 aangeteken het vir die Bokke. Goed gevang deur Bakkies Botha. Woes gespook deur die Bokke en Skalk Burger. En hy gee die bal vir Dani Rousseau. Voordeel. Ratevou. Die voordeel is verby en François Steyn sal nou met kop hou. En Suid-Afrika se ingooi. Want hierdie bal het uitgerol net voor die doellyn. Nee, dit gaan nie werk nie.
Dis al waarby Fijiane kan speel, John, is hy losbal wat wild weggegooi word, lospad van die Bokke af. Dis hulle kos.
En jy so reg, Kobus. Diep gegooi. Dis bedoel vir Skalk Burger. Hierdie verrassingsbeweging wat kan werk vir die Bokke. Frie Pre aangee op die regtervoet van Boots James wat sy sterkvoet is. Dan loop die 2 lynregters vandag, ook van Nieu-Seeland. Steve Walsh en Honus. Hulle bly dan by die Wêreldbeker.
Ja, gewag daarvoor, John.
Rauluni, naby. Oorslaan aangee. Likairi, neers die linkervleuel. Mbombo, verskoning. Nou sit Likairi. Goeie verdediging deur Brian Abena daar vir die Bokke. En die baldraer is Deus. Groot aanslag voor rustyd nou die Fiji. Bye. En die groot slot, Rawanga. En 'n hardloop kans vir die afsmaak Siza. Maar hulle is uit aan die diskant. Goeie dekverdediging en is veral vir die Pree wat uitblink met uitstekende verdediging.
Skitterende werk deur die skramskakel. Groot agterwand Sisa al langs die kantlyn af. En hou vir die Pree dop. Hy som die situasie op. Skitterende verdediging. Dis maklik. 5 is net 1 meer as 4.
Mooi Kobus. En 6 is meer as, dis 2 meer as 4. John Smith se ingooi. En bal gekry hier so deur Naivo. Suid-Afrika se ingooi.
So byna 'n kans vir die Fijiane, maar die bal was aangeslaan vorentoe deur hulle. Paar sekondes oor van die eerste helfte.
Stewig geskram deur die Bokke. Dan hier is hou. Vir die Pree. Wag vir die bal om uit te kom, gebruik sy tyd. Weer Boots James. Kan rustyd wees. Is rustyd Suid-Afrika voor met 13 punte teenoor 3. Suid-Afrika 2-3 gedruk. John Smith die kaptein, ook 'n 3 deur Jacques Fourie. So Suid-Afrika wat die eerste helfte wen dan met 13 punte teenoor 3. Die wenner van hierdie wedstryd, die speel in die halfeindronde teen Ofskop.
Remember 1995 against France, the semi-final. And then, of course, getting knocked out by Australia in the semi-final in 1999 and New Zealand in the quarter-final in 2003. du Preez. Slight change in the angle of the wind. A chance here for the big man Sisa to run it up. Well stopped again. Matfield does well for South Africa. Rauluni by Rambeni. That's a good step by him, but good cover tackling there by the Springboks. Rauluni, now the right wing, and De La Salle. Rauluni by Sisa. So the captain gets again as by goes out on the short side. They have this man who stands outright, Rwanga, the big number 5 lock forward who creates some problems. Good build up this by Fiji, but high for by Koto. Good tackle by Juan Smith. He always applies the pressure. By decides to go with the boot, and Monty has it covered. Well, he just accelerated into that ball, Percy Montgomery, and did very well to take the mark. So a good start to the second half by Fiji.
You see, you didn't kick that ball out, and what happened was, by not kicking it out, that gives Fiji the opportunity to loosen the game up. They set up, they run the ball wide, they make the game loose, and we've had to spend the first 2 minutes basically of the first half tackling.
Well, their lineouts have been pretty good. Juan Smith tried to mess that up again. Rwanga is prominent. By for Mbeni. The Leicester centre. By can get it out right to Retuvo. Well done there by Jacques Fourie. Now a chance here for Donnie Rousseau. Finds a bit of an opening. Fourie du Preez. Now Habana. He'll have to move down. Oh, and it unfortunately slipped there. Habana, they don't want... Oh, the penalty to Fiji. And I was about to say they don't want to get loose here, the Springboks.
The big worry here is that you're going to get loose in one of those big guys like that, and that's a big guy, Rwanga, who's going to collect the Brian Habana and take him out of this tournament. Kick the ball out, you're in your 22, no need for the fancy stuff. Do the basics. It's going to be simpler and easier. Worrying for South Africa, 13-6.
Well, this man has kicked very well in the tournament. And just watch his style. It is very, very simple. Just strokes the ball invariably over the crossbar. Well, is the blood going to present a problem? Just a little step, stroke, and over it goes. So 13 points to 6 it is, with a very good start for Fiji. Brian Habana, mad that he was penalised.
You see, it's not really Brian Habana's fault. He's getting the ball in his 22, going backwards. Found himself in a difficult position there.
Rwanga again making a good catch at that kick-off situation. Raluni. James is back. Rambeni is there as well. James is opening the space for Montgomery. And he couldn't see Habana out wide. Stain. He tried to get the pass away. Now you see they're losing the ball in the tackle. The Springboks. Habana, Peterson. This is exactly what the Fijians want. And well, thank goodness Peterson got enough boot on it to get it out on the halfway line. If you get loose, Wales fell into that fatal trap of getting loose there. This was a great catch. And then Monty Garth, I don't think, saw Habana way out on the left wing who was open.
Again, you see that was that 50-50 pass we spoke about not making against the Pacific Islanders, especially not against Fiji.
So not straight once again by Fiji. Rwanga once again being the main line-out man for the Fijians.
You'd have to think to yourself, kick the ball out, go to the line-outs. They can't really win it. Their put-ins are poor. They don't really have the options that we have in our line-outs.
Dupree. Well, the Fijians just coming up quickly and just piling on the pressure. And they've just got to keep their heads, have the Springboks here. Wales out of the tournament, Ireland out of the tournament, Australia, New Zealand. Fiji, the 12th seeded side against the 3rd rated side in the IRB rankings. Well, again, it's still scrappy by the Springboks, and John Smith needs to do some captaining here.
It was Naivoo that knocked the ball forward, just out of Buerta's hands.
The scrum has got to stay steady right throughout the scrummage because they applying the pressure when we heel the ball. Dupree against the wheel of the scrum, Montgomery. Well, the experience now. How will that ball bounce? This is Ndela Sau. In for Lingiiri. So South Africa with a better field position. They don't want to start throwing the ball deep and just play the basics. Just throw it to Victor Matfield.
This is Lingiiri with all the time in the world to stick it out, but South Africa go into the Fijian half with the put-in, should set up a drive.
Well, John Smith secures. Inevitably, we get a Mexican wave at every game here in France. Yesterday's game was so intense. Australia-England, they couldn't get it going. Dupree, James. Well, that could be too far. Well, the bounce is in fact suited South Africa there, because if it had gone forward, it would have been over the dead ball line. Francois Steyn wide awake to the situation and the danger there. They've got to keep up their concentration, the Springboks. One of the Fijians is down injured. Matfield. Well, not often you see Matfield unable to take the kickoffs. And so Fiji come away with the ball. By with a beautiful dummy on Steyn, right through he goes. James has to make the tackle. Rauluni waits for Naevo. Rauluni again accelerates, gets away from Habana. The Fijians in full flight here. Listen to the French crowd. Koto. It comes again. Sisa, the big number 8. Dani Rousseau must roll away or be careful. Rambeni is there at scrum half. In goes Ngiandrava. Rauluni up for Ngiera. Fiji looking dangerous here. They've got plenty of men out wide. By and Farida Peer goes up. Rambeni couldn't hold on. Here goes Francois Steyn. Now, has he the pace? No, looks around. He's got to find some runner here. Dupree, and picked up by Peterson. South Africa not making the most of their opportunities here. Huge opportunity for them to run it way, way down into Fijian territory. Monty does so. Naevo. Rousseau. Well, held on for dear life to Dani Rousseau there and wins the line out for South Africa. But the breakaway by Francois Steyn was a perfect opportunity to snatch, go and score.
Brian Abana was out on his left. He couldn't see Brian Abana as he swung away to his left-hand side. If he had looked to the left now, Brian Abana had his hand up in the air, screaming for the ball. But better, hold on to the ball. Don't do the 50-50 pass if you're unsure.
Yeah, all else just boot it down the field instinctively. You know you've got the pace man down left. But anyway, they're out to their own half. Smith again, well taken down to Dupree. Here goes Burger. Vickers van Heerden is on the field. Was that a tackle without the ball? Yes, says the referee, as Dupree keeps up the pressure. Smith and van Heerden. The referee still with his arm out. Dupree, this should be a try here. Matfield holds on until Peterson arrives. Try number 3 for South Africa. And I'm sure huge relief for everybody at home. It's not over yet though.
This is great play from South Africa. They worked the ball through the phases. Matfield stayed in his feet exceptionally well, popped it on the inside to Peterson, but the work was done earlier. They kept the ball through the phases. They put Fiji in the first line of defense under pressure, got the ball out wide. Speedster gets the 5 points. Probably won't get one easier than that. This is going to be Rambeni is going to get penalized for that late body check.
So the big centre, he plays his rugby for Leicester in England, is sent off for 10 minutes, and that could have quite an effect on them. Lovely touch there from Butch James to keep the movement going.
That was so high, a body check, no arms. I don't know, pick one. Pick a yellow card.
So Percy Montgomery has not kicked a goal today out of 3 attempts. But he has done so now. South Africa up to 20.
Well, this is it. Keeping it on the short side is wise for South Africa. Keeping the ball in front of your pack of forwards. Wonderful interplay. Great to see Matfield with the whereabouts of just holding that ball up with the one hand.
So Alistair Coetzee and Gert Smal very relieved, I would think. And now we see that Horst Durant is coming off the field. It was last week that Horst played against his 18th country by with the restart, with the bandage on his head now. Dupree.
Cece. Now look at that man. He's a big, big number 8. Lungiari. Lungaira, should I say. Got our eyes and our A's a little mixed up there. So Yanni Duplessis, with the press conference the other day, was so excited to be here. Smith, Duprier, Steyn, James, Montgomery, up to towards the Fijian 22. Now Smith, foot in touch. But a better build-up by South Africa, more sure in terms of their passing. Just running out of space there, Juan Smith. Well, that jumper, Naevo, who came down on the wrong side there. Still it's there for Fiji. They're all lining up here. Rauluni, well read again by Juan Smith. CJ van der Linde. In fact, no, it's Guthrie Steenkamp, of course, who's now taken Oosterhuren's place. A banner. Be careful he doesn't hold on too long here. No, gets it away. Duprier, ball seemed to be ripped out of his hands. Now that's I thought that Cece was down in on the side there. So word there from Steve Walsh. He's got it wrong there, I'm afraid, Alan Lewis. There were hands in, the ruck had been formed.
They came in from the side.
So now Rai Lomo comes on to win just his 6th test cap into the front row for the Fijians. Guthrie Steenkamp doing some good work there. Great scrumming by the tight 5. It should be a turnaround here as it comes for Farida Priya. Cabana will give chase, goes over Rauluni. Not the greatest kick by Farida Priya. Worked out there to the fullback Lungairi. Now with Mbombo. Rauluni by Koto. Well, now what can they conjure up here, Fiji? South Africa hold on in terms of defence. They need somebody. Well, Madfield made a telling stop there. Smith across there quickly as well. Rauluni finds Ratuvu. Good defence by Habana. Rauluni by Sisi. Well, Fiji playing up and down one angle of play really here. Rwanga, the number 5 lock, nowhere to go there. Rauluni by. And then for the other lock, Liweri. Sisa finds Rauluni. Now with Ngira. Well read by Peterson. He's done some useful defensive work today, JP. Out wide for Ndela Sao. Oh, look at the pace of the man now. Will the ball win? Will he win? No, I think he's got it. I think they'll go to the TMO. I said it's not all over yet. They'll go to the TMO, Nigel Owens of Wales. Ndela Sao, who plays for Clermont-Ferrand in France, I think is in for his 11th test try.
Well, he's hooped it over field. He gets in. It's certainly not over the line. Does he ground it?
Well, the crowd roar in delight. That's a try. That's a try. All you've got to do is get that moment of downward pressure on the ball, and there it is. Doesn't have to be with your hands. It can be with any part of your body up to your waist. And I think that's a try, Garth.
I certainly think that's a try. He got downward pressure on the ball. The ball flew up in the air. Proves it had downward pressure on it. A sloppy play from South Africa. Poor little kick from Fiji over the top. Got South Africa tackling. Was nice and loose. Chip over the top. Try on short to Hindelassau.
Well, the French crowd are all watching it on the big screen here at the Stade Velodrome. It's got to be a try. The Fijians had all gone back to their over the halfway line. The Springboks had all gone back over the try line. And so Fiji are back in the game now. These conversions become important. If he kicks this over, it's 13 points. You see the pace of the man. He just flew away from the Springbok covered defenders. Lili Tambua very calm there. And look at that, comes round beautifully, puts Fiji within 7. Are we going to have yet another? This would be a major, major upset.
Well, it was really good play from Fiji. Nevertheless, they got the ball from weak play from South Africa. They used it wisely, got it out wide. And you're going to see a lot more of this in the last sort of 20 minutes of the game with Fiji popping it over the top.
And remember, Fiji are a man down. No good driving in there by the Springboks. Rauluni by, you see how they want to open it up now. They've got to make those tackles. They've got to, well, it's a good fullback. Lungairi, he takes it over the halfway line. They still go. Rauluni gets away. Berger gives chase. Here comes the big men. That's another try. It's another try. It's Mbombo who gets over. And this will probably level the scores. The referee has awarded, no, he hasn't. He wants to have a look at it, does the referee. But the Fijians are opening it up, and South Africa were found wanting in terms of defensive numbers there. Try.
You've got to take your hat off to Fiji. They are playing quality rugby. They're running at the Springboks on a direct line. The Springboks are making the necessary mistakes, giving the ball away too easily and too cheaply. One would assume if they don't give this as a try, they'd lynch somebody here. This crowd is so partisan. That's a try, so simple. What more do you need to see?
Well, every time they have a replay, the crowd start whistling and booing and screaming and shouting. There's no question that that's momentum. Well, the noise here is thunderous as the Fijians get their second try in 2 minutes. And so with this conversion to come, they can get into a situation where the scores will be level with the last quarter of the game to go. And he is still sitting in the sin bin. And South Africa, I don't know what happened with their defensive line there, but they were left with 3 men out to defend. By no problem for the smooth striker. And so the level scores will create a real nail-biting last 20 minutes.
Rauluni that made that initial break. It was an outstanding break from the scrum half. And then Mbombo finished it off. but it was the classic scrum off break, the quick second phase ball and the break.
Well, it's well secured there by the Fijians. Only Ralomo on as a replacement now. They go, look at this, they break away by the big number 5, Rwanga. Rauluni decides to go with a boot. In the event of a draw, of course, at full time, they will play extra time. That's a good kick by Butch James. It really is a good return by Butch James. The crowd have got behind Fiji in a huge way.
A lot of passion out there with the Fijians. You've got to be careful of that. Calm heads from South Africa. Calm heads. All you need now, secure the ball, go back to the basics.
Now they're starting to chant Fiji, Fiji, Fiji. Rwanga goes to the front of the line out. It's too long for him. Tap down for Bush James to get it from Dupriya. Now Steyn needs some magic to produce here. We need a big bit of magic here from somebody. Burger continues. Dupriya, they've got men on the outside here, South Africa. James, oh, it's a deliberate knockdown, surely. Well, they're men down, and I think Bakkies Buerta could be in trouble here. I think it could be a problem here. Just waiting for the other touch judge before they have a discussion. Well, you heard that, Alan Lewis saying at 4:20 all, I'm going to scrum it. Surely you've got to make a decision as to what is right and what is wrong. Well, there's the high tackle. That is the first infringement. And then this was the body check here without the ball. Well, it wasn't really a body check, but it was a tackle without the ball. So the referees decided to go for the scrum. The first infringement was really a penalty to South Africa. Now what can they do here as Burger moves it up for Farid Dupriya? They keep it tight. They must be careful they don't fall into the same trap that New Zealand fell into last night of pick and go, and it didn't work. In the side penalty, South Africa. Now, Farid Dupriya grabbed the ball edge. Garth right through his hands up in the air. We both got in a little bit of a panic here. But Monty will kick for goal.
Thankfully, my heart nearly stopped. This is ideal what South Africa's doing. Just take it back to the maul, suck them in, drive them up. They will make mistakes. They're doing it right there. Rwanga coming in from the side. Slot the penalties, win this game. No need for the fancy stuff.
Well, win the game. The way the game's been going, Garth, Fiji won't want the final whistle to go. So no problem for Monty. Puts South Africa back in the lead with a little bit of breathing space as Rambani returns to the field.
So Fiji's got the ability to score a try from anywhere on this field. They can be on their try line. They have the ability to score long-range tries. Now, when you play a team like that, you want to have more than a 7-point cushion going into the last 15 minutes of this game. Vital for South Africa to get back in their half, put points on the board.
this is where they need to secure the ball too. It's been knocked on, advantage to Fiji. And another knock on, so those little problems from the kickoffs creeping in.
You see, Naivu goes for the ball, knocks Matfield in the face. He can't see the ball, therefore can't catch it. Not so sure if that's the right call from Mr. Lewis.
Cece stopped by Farida Priya. The big man, that number 8, Rauluni, by Rambeni. Here come the wingers into the fray as Francois Steyn has to get back. And got it away. South Africa in trouble here. Skalkberger had to get it down. So once again, the Fijians opening it up and creating problems with their pace on the outside. They shove it through. They really are quick and big.
Lovely play. See, they draw South Africa in. South Africans a little tentative. They're not too sure. There's a lot of talk there. Percy had to go up in the line. Nobody at fullback. They nudge it through. Now, this is crazy stuff from the youngster. Just put it down, go to the scrum, and actually hammer them in the scrum.
Well, that's what they need to try and do, is hammer them in the scrum. Can they do it? That's the big thing. As Cece goes to the side, Farida Priya makes a telling tackle. Rauluni gets the ball from him. They needed to be watching the scrum half. A try here could be a great setback for South Africa as Fiji try to muscle it over the line. Habana needs reinforcements. They're out wide. Oh, the referee's right there. Short of the line again. That's knocked on. Koto, the scrum half, couldn't hold on. Just about every Fijian on the field committed to that ruck. And 11 of the Springboks.
I think it was Rambeni that tried to get his hand on it. Yeah, Rambeni, watch, he tries to pick it up and loses the ball. And if we had any get out of jail cards for free, I think we've used up our last one today. We used up a couple against Tonga. And if you want to know what pressure is all about, you want to coach an international rugby team.
Well, this is another situation where that scrum has to hold fast, and they've got to get out of that area as fast as possible, have the Springboks. As Koto is now okay, time on, and 14 and a half minutes to go. A minute fast, the clock. Berger, tackle quickly by Ngira. Dupriya, Montgomery. Well, they needed a big one there, did the Springboks. As it play on, said now. Lukai gets away from the banner, then cracks on the pace. It comes for Ratuvo. Rauluni by... And well, he pulled it left. I thought it might have just crept over the bar. It was a bit of what we call a vurvurskop.
If you look to the right of Vi, they had 4-1 against South Africa. He will kick himself if he has a look at that replay. Rambeni had his hands streaming in the air for the ball. A poor decision, thankfully, for South Africa by to go for that snap drop.
Well, the way Mbombo just accelerated away from Brian Habana there. There's scary pace out wide for these Fijians. By to Lingairi. Rauluni starting to open it up again to the Fijians as Monty has to make the tackle. And it's Ndelasau who drives it forward. They're missing those first time tackles because of the size of these Fijians. Great roar from the crowd. Now they're all out wide. There are a whole host of them out wide. Rambeni And is that over the top? Was that forward? Now, did he get it down? We'll go to yet another TMO decision. There's no great celebration there from the big man, Rwanga. Well, the Fijians this time have gathered. Look at JP Peterson here. He's kept it up in the air. What a tackle by JP Peterson. This could take South Africa into the World Cup semi-final. Bucky's Burton there as well. But JP Peterson, take a bow.
That was a try-saving tackle, but worrying signs for South Africa is the fact that the moment the Fijians get the ball and they spread it out wide, they are putting us under extreme pressure.
This is quite an amusing situation. The referee is there, the touch judge is still there. All the players have gone back for a 22 dropout.
I don't know what he's watching. Certainly not that.
This time the crowd are silent. If you'd got a shave of grass or a blade of grass on that ball, the crowd would have been going mad in the favor of Fiji. They're all lined up here. I wish we could get a wide shot because they're all lined up for the 22. Now Butch James needs to boot this thing as far as possible, which he does. Back is by. Rampani with him. He starts to run it out. They need to make this tackle. He slips a man. And it went to ground. Babana couldn't hold on. He was grabbing. Rampani. Now you see, he slipped Van Heerden there so easily. Watch this. And that is what the problem is.
It's our first time tackling you. Our first line of defense is not solid. It's not secure.
It's not only Vickers Van Heerden, it's a whole host of the players have been guilty of letting those big men run through on their inside. You've got to stay on the inside shoulder. Burger. Duprier, James. Now goes for position. Your kicking's got to be spot on if you do it, and he's done it. That's a good kick by Bush James under the circumstances. But if Fiji start running it, those centres and wings have to be wide awake.
It's a quality kick. Thought behind it was perfect. He struck it perfectly. He got the roll correct. That's all South Africa needs at the moment. Now to go for possession.
Well, they don't need to relax now. They need to come up very rapidly on defence here, because you can bet your life that Fiji get the possession here. They will run the ball. Bucky's Buerta try to get a hand in. It's not in straight. Desperate need of a try here are the Springboks.
Now I would suggest they put the ball in, get it to Skalkberg at 8 and just rumble it over. They can scrum that the Fijians back 5 meters. I can believe that without a doubt. Stick it in the back, nothing rushed, scrum it over.
Well, as long as they can do that, because New Zealand did that last night to their detriment. And so they've got to be very aware of the ball control and not giving away 50-50 ball. I have no doubt they'll decide to do what you advise. Burger gets it up for Juan Smith. Now they've got the maul going. Now the Fijians have to be careful. The rumble is on. The rumble is on. Is it over? The rumble is over! It's Juan Smith is over the line. There's 10 minutes to go, but can that be the situation? 4 tries in his last 4 test matches, and a little breath of relief.
What a big one from EU, I must say. That 7-point cushion was vital against a team as dangerous as Fiji. What a setup from them, though. The maul was key. We've always said against the Fijians, drive up them, maul them up, suck them in. That's super play from South Africa. They were going for the pushover. They didn't get the right momentum. John Smith came around, bound on Skalkberger, set it up, and then went and scored. Great play, South Africa.
Well, again, the conversion becomes important. And And Monty slotted it. So that gives South Africa a 10-point cushion. The big thing now is for them to secure the ball as Juan Smith gets over to the relief of Ali Kutsia and Kat Small. So try number 9 for Juan Smith. Well, another one of the interesting in this game that we really haven't had this huge production of replacements so far. Buerta. Now Jacques Ferry cracks on the pace. Can he go all the way? They close into the defenders. Did well to hold the ball there. Now they need to consolidate via Skogberger once again. Well, going straight to ground was the first man. I think it was Monty was the first man who was there.
I think he got Guthrie Steenkamp though. Just watch Guthrie over the top.
Yeah, Guthrie was. Remember a little earlier the referee said that clock is about a minute too fast. So just under 10 minutes to go. They do have a replacement on now. Here's Ngadolo. Bill Ngadolo plays for the Barbarians in Fiji. Well, just waiting for the line-out man, Naevo. Rwanda, who's up, and Naevo who takes. This is where the Springboks need to be careful now. Number 18 also on the field, Rituva. Rauluni by. It's Ratuva who's up there. Rauluni by Rambeni. No, it's not Rambeni, it's Ndela Sao. So building up here with many men in midfield. Rambeni's lost it forward. Berger recovers. JP Peterson does well. Stays on his, well, he's got to stay on his feet. Good work by Peterson. Remember that telling tackle that he put in. Butch James, plenty of time, and it's another good kick by the fly half. He started off, he didn't kick that well. But now he's put in 2 telling punts.
Now this is a big tackle here from Juan Smith, and he doesn't actually get up. He's limping around after that tackle, but it's a really good tackle because the ball comes loose out of Rabeni's arms, and South Africa can get out of their half.
Well, Juan Smith limped up to the line out. Certainly for my money, Juan Smith, a serious candidate to be the Springbok star of the tour so far. Ngadolo with the throw. Bakis Buerta tries to stop Rwanda from getting clean ball. So it's right up against the touchline. Has been turned over. Drive forward there by the Springboks. Now Van Heerden needs help there. Gets it from Matfield. Yanni du Plessis. The pick and go. Duprier. James goes for the percentage drop. Has been touched. It's going to be a 5-meter scrum. So that is a huge advantage for South Africa. Butch James, I think, using the right options there in terms of trying to just keeping Fiji back down in their own 22-meter area.
I was having a heart attack. I thought this was going to be charged down, and it was that close to being charged down with nobody home for South Africa behind Butch James.
So we wait the production here, or the introduction of Johan Müller. He was on the field for a very short moment earlier on, and now Buckies leaves the scene. Well, if South Africa can score here, you've got to get the feeling that will wrap up the game. But heavens, didn't we have heart-stopping moments against Tonga? Now, of course, when it's all at knockout level, it's even more heart-stopping. How many of you at home predicted Australia out, New Zealand out, Wales not in the final 8, Ireland not in the final 8? The bookmakers must be laughing all the way to the bank at the moment. So this man who's tried for his life all afternoon, the number 5 lock, Rwanga, just receiving some attention. Look at that. Fiji rated number 12 in the world. Their rating will go up, I'm sure, a couple of steps. The rating in world rugby at the moment: New Zealand, France, South Africa, Australia, Ireland, Argentina, England 7th, Wales, Italy, Samoa and Fiji. Look at the scrum. Skalkberger! Oh, he dropped it. Oh, it was on a plate. Well, they don't need to have a rort now because they just have been played in such a great spirit this game. With Johan Miller even getting involved in ticking somebody off. This should have been scored. Those big hands, and somebody got a shoulder in there. It was Lawaravu who just got his shoulder in there. Also a man who's just receiving his 6th test cap. A lot of voluntary workers we were having a chat to yesterday. They haven't got numbers, the Fijians, so they will have to kick here surely. Rauluni, you remember, anything goes in goal, and so they go in outbound. Well,
just have a look.
Watch those flankers. In 99, losing in the quarterfinal against the All Blacks, disappointingly, back in Australia in 2003. This will take South Africa into the semi-final, either against Scotland or Argentina. Quite happy just to stay down there. Skalkberger goes. Look at all the Fijians around. Vickers van Heerden secured the ball. Maybe Bush James should just pop it over the crossbar for another 3 points. Doesn't matter now. This game is going to be won by the Springboks. And they're ready to go again. Duprier. Smith. Where is it? Duprier could throw a dummy there. Hands have to be off by Fiji there. Referee screaming for hands to be off. Duprier. Butch James! Butch James has got the try. Just his 3rd in his 24th test. But he's had some telling moments in the second half. The man from Maritzburg College. 2 very good kicks. That drop kick attempt that kept him going, and now that.
Well,